Welcome to the Word for August 18th, 2013. I'm Jakob Music. Today, we will discuss the unbelievable story of the so-called porn professor. A story mixing such perfect quantities of outrage, salaciousness, and poor decision-making could only happen in America. But first, some headlines. 93 years ago today, women in the United States gained the right to vote. The vote was enabled by the passage and ratification of the 19th Amendment by the Congress and the states. 2 days before the final passage of the amendment, the last state to ratify, Tennessee, faced efforts by some conservative lawmakers to stop passage. Today, more women vote in presidential elections than men in the United States. The passage of the 19th Amendment was the culmination of the early 20th century suffrage movement. The amendment was written 42 years before ratification. The amendment suffered much opposition, and its constitutionality was even tested in the Supreme Court. A Brazilian woman has sawed off her husband's penis with a bread knife after discovering him in bed with another man. The names of those involved has not been released. The man and his severed member were rushed to the hospital, but the penis could not be saved. It is apparent that the woman was planning on the attack for several days. This premeditated aspect will be vital when the case is litigated later this year. The attack happened a few days after the woman first discovered her husband's infidelity. The day of the attack, the woman convinced her husband to allow her to tie him up as part of what she presented as a sexual game. Unfortunately for the husband, this was all part of an elaborate ruse to ensure that he would not be able to escape as she performed the castration by bread knife. The man's medical condition has been described as stable. In a recent performance, Toni Braxton suffered a rather severe wardrobe malfunction. While on stage, Ms. Braxton's sparse dress came undone, and suddenly her entire backside was exposed. She continued performing nonetheless. R&B singer Monica is expecting her third child. She announced that the girl's name is expected to be Leia. It is her first child with her current husband, Shannon Brown. Monica has two previous sons from her relationship with rapper Rocco, named Rocco Jr. and Romeo. Monica was signed to Arista Records at age 13, has released 7 albums, and sold 20 million albums worldwide. In Switzerland, so-called drive-through sex boxes have opened. They are garage-style structures in which the customers of prostitutes will drive through, with up to 40 working women stationed in these structures. The transaction will be done inside one of the stations, where posters are hung talking about safe sex and how AIDS is transmitted. The sex boxes are also equipped with alarms that prostitutes can activate if they feel they are in danger. The boxes are part of a Swiss effort to combat pimping. A California family got a lot more than they bargained for when their son fell and suffered what initially looked like a simple scrape. When Rachel Franklin's 4-year-old son Paul fell on a rock, she thought nothing of it. Kids fall and scrape themselves all the time. But Paul's wound seemed a lot more serious, and when she took him to an urgent care center, he was diagnosed with a staph infection. But when the family was home again, Rachel noticed that Paul's wound had turned black. Against medical orders, Rachel squeezed the wound, and a snail shot out of her son's leg. It is possible that the young boy fell on a rock that was holding the eggs of the snail, and that they were forced into the wound, where they incubated and hatched. The young boy named the newborn snail, who had gestated inside of him, Turbo.